Most people think that showing up in a Facebook group is enough. But in fact, what you say or don't say could really cause you to be impactful or influential or simply ignored. Well, hey, Chris, we were talking about how most Facebook groups tend to fall a little short when it comes to engagement and collaboration. And there are some, though, that are great that really lend itself to building a community around curious questions and really going deep into how we can serve and grow together. What have been some of your examples that you've witnessed? And you're such a great participant in Facebook groups and have grown your business and your life through them. What are some examples that you've seen?
And that's a great question because the premise of the Facebook groups can be so supportive of the participants and those that I have been participating in. When we are able to either post some important information or a lesson that we've learned that we can share, or when someone posts or comments of something they're struggling with, to be able to go in and say, hey, I've got a possible solution for that. Could it be possible if you tried this, or have you tried that? And get that engagement, because oftentimes then you'll have other people that will start commenting about, well, I've had that situation and I was able to work through it in a positive way by doing this. Those are the groups that are so supportive that we love to collaborate in, to be a part of, and to be able to support the people that are in that group at a really high level. I know, Jennie, you have your own group as well as participating in others. What has your experience been?
Oh, man, it's been now 10 years. I created Your Journey with Jennie, this Facebook group, so long ago.
10 years.
I know, it's crazy. Out of really just a need of my own to teach and share and give back to my agent friends and community. Honestly, with all these decades in real estate, I just didn't want others to, I was seeing that they were maybe struggling through just having the time to build a system or a tool or a checklist or implement a form of technology. And if I've already done it, I want to just help them fast track their success so they don't waste all the time that I wasted figuring this stuff out. So that's the intention with my Facebook group. I really look to ask curious questions and understand the struggles and challenges of agents in today's world, not just business-wise, but also in their personal lives as well. Chris, you and I are of a mature age where we know that life is precious and we don't want to waste time on things that aren't going to add value or dollars to our lives. And so how can we best do that? And so I think with having my own group and also participating, it's really knowing what is the goal. Like, don't just post and ghost, post with intention.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's posting with intention. It's offering to continue the conversation if they want to continue the conversation offline. We want to be able to take the years of experience that we've had, the mistakes that we've certainly made over the decades we've been in this business, and help others not make the same mistakes, or maybe have a softer landing if they do. And now incorporating being certified guides and being able to elevate conversations and to help others elevate their conversations, just not in business, but in their personal lives as well. You and I are on the same page of our goal is to positively impact the lives of others. Right. And we have a very unique opportunity to do that. And being participants in Facebook groups has been a really great way for us to really spread the word and to help more people and to get in front of more people that we can help and that we can support at a high level.
Yeah, I noticed that I built my business, and I'm sure you did the same, built on relationships and referrals. And I would bet most of our friends are wanting to build that kind of business as well, but sometimes we just don't know where to start. And so I look back on knowing what I know now from exactly what to say. I can actually see that I was kind of in alignment with it in a way. It was about building relationships. But if I knew then what I know now, it would have been so much more effective and impactful. Absolutely. And probably moved faster if I had slowed down to ask more curious questions to really gain content and context of what matters most to them.
Absolutely. The same. I'm building relationship, being in relationship sales. We asked some questions, but we didn't
Right.
ask the questions that we know now
Yep.
are the most important. And that just levels up our ability to serve the people that not only are real estate clients, but the agents in our world, and help them by asking curious questions. Where do you really want to be? Who do you really want to serve? And how can we help you find those people, have the right conversations, handle the objections that you're hearing in such a way that you're actually supporting the client, not trying to tell them what to do. And that being in Facebook groups, that comes up a lot
Yeah.
in trying to handle objections. And instead of trying to tell people, we're able to help them understand what it is to ask the right questions to guide them to making the best decision for them. Has that been your experience as well?
It totally has. And as I think about it, if we're going to take the lessons that we've learned from Phil and exactly what to say, even just that first cornerstone of conversational excellence really sticks with me pretty much every day, which is that first off, the worst time to think about what you're going to say is at the time you're going to say it. And that's kind of a gut punch at times. And it really has taught me in everything I'm doing, whether it's a conversation with my family or my team members or my clients, to prepare. Because we know what's going to come our way, especially in real estate. There's not that many different objections that come our way. So we can prepare in advance. I just used the later today example when I was meeting with a seller, and I was able to plan in advance. I had it on my calendar time block of questions to ask, and just went through and listed out 5 really great questions. So much so, by the time I got to the last one, I asked him, share with me your understanding of the relationship between days on market and sales price. And he just looks at me and he goes, I know where you're going with this. Because I had asked so many great questions that he got to the point where he's like, hands up, I give in. Yes. Yeah. All right. Take my listing. And so, but it took a long time to really get to that point that he trusted me enough that I could be honest with him at that point.
And that's such a big deal, because I think when we think about the questions that come up on the Facebook groups that we are a part of, and these questions come up all day, every day, 7 days a week, we can speak from the experience of what we've learned, what you just said.
Yes.
You prepared, you did the work before the work. You knew what questions you wanted to ask and come from curiosity. You knew what to say in the moment you needed to say it. And you got the listing without having to go into this really long, drawn out presentation and I do this and I do that. Yeah. It's
real life.
Ask the questions, understand, and it's great.
Yeah.
And I love to be able to share that when we see people struggling in these Facebook groups where we're able to jump in, offer help without being an advice monster. I'm not going to tell you what to do. Yeah. And I'm going to ask some questions to get you to think about it. And if you want to talk about it offline or role play, just let me know.
And I do think that is an important thing to add to this Facebook group conversation, is that for me, it is important to be interested over interesting, so that therefore they actually know that I care and I want to deepen that relationship, but also doing my best to bring the relationship offline into real life, get offline into real life. And so therefore it's just making sure that they then can see the value, whether it's a new opportunity, like they might want to join my real estate team. Wow, that's cool. Or maybe they want to just take one of my training classes, or maybe we just want to be good friends, and that's okay too. Either way, it's a win for me.
And though they don't know about those opportunities. So when we're talking about the groups that we're a part of, it's not just the opportunities they have to possibly learn from you, learn from me, workshops, whatever it is that can help them. It's also, now, how can you take this and be part of Facebook groups that might be something that's of interest to you, or a community Facebook page where you can start being interesting and start becoming helpful.
That's right.
And support the people who are commenting or posting on a page that can bring them more opportunities, be it real estate opportunities or whatever it is. And so to carry that forward for them, what groups are they in? that they can contribute to and make an impact and become more visible in that group as possibly an expert or someone that just really wants to genuinely help them. And I think that to carry that forward is another lesson that they can take away from being supported in a Facebook group.
And I think when we see others modeling it or performing at a high level that we look up to, then we can act that way as well, that they can learn from our lessons too. So like you said, whether it's a Facebook group for real estate agents or whether it's your local Facebook page or group for your own community, there's so many opportunities for leadership. And I think that's what this is really all about, is how can I best show up as a leader and serve others?
Yeah, 100%. And we know that, we hear about Facebook and the negative things and all of the other things that are going on. There's so many ways to use it for good, for positive, to support others, to help others, and to model other leaders. And I think that that's a path that many people don't look at. But especially when you are in business, I think it's a great way to become visible as to who you really are and that you want to help, you want to support, you're there for them, be it a community page, the pages where our peers and our colleagues are in that we can help. Being able to do it in a positive way and show that there's good stuff out there is a big deal.
I just had this thought, and I don't know if you've experienced this yet, but it was 5 years ago that my Facebook was hacked and deleted. And it was really painful at first because I had built this group with content. All of the things that Jennie personally posted in my group was gone. And at first I was really sad, and then I was mad. And then I had a lesson with a coach to realize that, okay, it's still valuable, but where could I put the same material that I'm sharing all of my heart and my soul in this closed group? Where can I put that in another way? So that's where, maybe taking this community that you're building and adding to it in other platforms that you own, that can't be taken away from you overnight. But also my number one goal is to always pull these people through to an email list. I get to stay in relationship with them each month through an intimate, value-added newsletter that they can borrow all my stuff, or they can reply and respond and share with me what they're learning and their struggles as well.
Yeah, and that's a really valid point. It's the continued relationship, because so many of the people that are in these groups that we help support, you and I send newsletters. Mine are different. I'm coming from a coaching place. And so we're sharing with them things that can help them in business, help them in life. And it creates a much deeper relationship when it's not just on Facebook. It's this faceless, there's a photo, but it's just not the same. And when we can start creating a relationship, and many of them then are in your workshops or my workshops, and we get to know them even better, then we can help them on a deeper level. And a lot of times they help us too, because we get some ahas from these people as well as to, what do you really need? How can we support you? And it just grows those relationships. So if we can impact and influence in a Facebook group, and then continue those relationships and build them bigger and stronger, it's all good. It's all good.
And one thing I do want to share is that when we were first introduced to Phil M. Jones was at Mega Camp a couple years ago. And when he shared with us that message, when we know in our real estate arena that some of our training classes in the past, we were told to just tally up those contacts. It didn't really matter if it was a purposeful two-way conversation. And when he shared from the stage, stop counting conversations, make conversations count. That was it for me. I knew that this was a place that I needed to learn more and see how I could then share that message with others as well.
Yeah, he's had such a big impact for both of us. And when I met with him in person after being in training with him, I knew it was the missing piece that I had been looking for in my coaching business. It was like I'm missing something, just one thing, but I can't figure out what it is. And then I heard Phil, I met with him. I said, I want to be a guide. He said, absolutely, yes. Come be a guide with me and learn from me and share it with others.
Yeah.
It's been such a catalyst for not just my coaching business, but all of my conversations. It was the missing piece. And to be able to share his work and his principles and the methodology and level up everybody else's conversations and make their conversations count has been amazing.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Truly amazing.
I've really enjoyed working through that, what he calls the 5-step dance. And that is just the reminder, and everyone can write this down and have it in front of them all of the time, because I do now. It's just when we start with questions, curious questions, that leads to great conversations that allow us then to deepen relationships that then offer up opportunity because they trust us and feel that we're relatable and we're connected, that's when these opportunities arise and we get into action. And it's either with, working together or deepening a friendship, whatever that can look like. But it can always just be working all the way through those. And then everything, though, does just start with questions.
100%.